But my point, and I said, man, you got more than my house is worth in a camper and a truck. And I said, I've got a camper and I like to go, but there's no way in the world I'm pulling a camper from here to Myrtle Beach. I'm staying in a condo on the beach. Okay? Because think about how many times you can go to Myrtle Beach for $150,000.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And you don't have to set it up, and you don't have to 90-degree weather and sweat dripping off of you, and the gnats biting on you, and clean it up, come back. You also have to pay or build something to house it or pay for somebody to store it. It never ends because I've got one, I can tell you.
Right.
And his response to me was, boy, you just don't know who's been sleeping in those beds.
Oh, shit.
Now, that's what his response was. And I said, so you spent $150,000 to kill yourself to go over there, and then you got to pull it and pay the gas and everything else to get over there and back because you're worried about who slept in the bed at the hotel? When did you get this phobia?
Yeah.
Man, we've got a string of bikes back here, Slappy. Look behind you.
Oh, yeah, it looked good. It looked doggone good. Hey, what you call a great start to first of the year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to, like I said, I got one camping date down already. Going to try to get 3 or 4 more and try to do a little bit of motorcycle camping. I've got TVA at Cherokee Dam already, and then I'm going to try to get an Indian Boundary.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to get one over at Iron Horse. And I'll probably do one at Panther Creek or 2 at Panther Creek, and just kind of do a little weekend practice on camping. We got a 28-foot tag along we've used for years, but I want to camp a little bit in the tent, rough it a little bit more, and so I'm looking forward to this year too. It's going to be a great year.
Oh yeah. Talking about that camping, like I said, if I go to Daytona, at that time of the year, I probably almost could camp.
Yep.
In one of the campgrounds, because it's a different kind of life at that campground. But I got a good friend of mine that's got a big old house down there, and he said, "Bring everybody you want, man. Just come on."
Well, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
When you got that, there's no reason to rough it.
No, then you ain't got a whole lot of money tied up in lodging and all that kind of stuff. So trips like that are very much doable. I hope I get you on one of them this year.
Man, I hope I can too.
Little 3-4 spin. Nobody wants to be gone too awful long like that, but at least a 3 or 4 little spin.
Do you know what dates those are already?
I do, and I have to text them to you. I don't have them to memory.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, text them to me and then let me put it on my calendar so I'll know, and then I'll. I think if I'm gone 3 or 4 days, I may be all right.
Look at them all them RVs. Good. They must have had some kind of RV festival. That's just
they just camp. They just RV. I mean, they got more than I got in my house.
I know
that one right there.
Yeah.
Along with they probably got more in that truck than I got in my house.
Ain't that the truth? $100 grand for a truck.
I had a guy tell me one time he had just gotten his new. Well, he pulled up and he was in a new high country 2500 Chevy.
Man.
And I went, man. I said, got a nice looking truck, and I didn't even know he camped. He said, I got this to pull the camper with. I thought I'd get me a new truck, and I couldn't tell you how much but it was brand new. He didn't buy it used, so I couldn't tell you. It's been 4 or 5 years ago now. I guess before the huge price increases, but still, I don't know how much one of them new would have cost, but it's a ton. And I said, well, what are you doing? He said, well, I'm getting it because once a year I pull over to Myrtle Beach. And I said, well, what are you pulling? He said, well, I'm pulling a such and such fifth wheel. It's 36 feet long or something like that, or 40 or whatever. And so I'm doing the math in my head, and I'm thinking, all right, he's got $150,000 in a camper and a truck.
What?
Okay. I mean, he's got $150 grand in it.
For once a year.
Well, no, he does more camping than that. But my point, and I said, man, you got more than my house is worth in a camper and a truck. And I said, I've got a camper and I like to go, but there's no way in the world I'm pulling a camper from here to Myrtle Beach, I'm staying in a condo on the beach. Okay? Because think about how many times you can go to Myrtle Beach for $150,000.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And you don't have to set it up, and you don't have to 90-degree weather and sweat dripping off of you, the gnats biting on you, and clean it up, come back. You also have to pay or build something to house it or pay for somebody to store it. It never ends, because I've got one, I can tell you.
Right.
And his response to me was, boy, you just don't know who's been sleeping in those beds.
Oh, shit.
Now, that's what his response was. And I said, so you spent $150,000 to kill yourself to go over there, and then you got to pull it and pay the gas and everything else to get over there and back because you're worried about who slept in the bed at the motel? When did you get this phobia?
Yeah.
You know, what did you do as a child when your parents went? So, did y'all not sleep in motels?
Right.
But that's an excuse used by a lot of people, and it's just pretty lame. I went, wow, crazy.
I got a buddy of mine. He won't eat with silverware at a restaurant.
Really?
If it ain't plastic, he'll tell him take it back. I've seen them daggone. You got any plastic? He said, no, we don't carry plastic here. I don't want it.
Well, why did he just bring his own?
Well, that's what he does, but if he forgets it, I don't know.
You know, because I was going to say, you know, I remember the first time I went to eat at the Dixie Stampede.
We lost half of them.
We did?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I remember. Let's go over here then. I remember when we went to the Dixie Stampede the first time, and I didn't realize that you had to have furniture. I mean, you had to have your own. But they didn't give you silverware.
I didn't know that.
You don't. They feed you a meal, but you don't eat it. You eat it by hand.
Oh,
and
really?
And they give you stuff to eat it with, but it's by hand.
Really?
Oh yeah. And so I'm sitting there, and this guy beside me reaches in his coat pocket and pulls out a little plastic thing that's got a fork, a spoon, and a knife in it.
I got one.
And I said, what's this for? And he said, well, you ain't going to get no silverware. And I said, what do you mean you ain't going to get no silverware? He said, I ain't going to get no silverware. They don't serve it here. And I went, what? So anyway, so I had gone a second time. I've been there twice in my life, and I did the same thing. I brought 10 of them with me. Stuffed them in my shirts.
Yeah.
Did we get everybody back?
No.
And we stuffed them with shirts and did the same thing. I started handing them out when I got there. And they go, what's this for? I said, you're going to find out when they serve you food. You got to pick everything up to eat it.
I'll tell you what, talking about that camping, I've got a doggone like a Swiss Family knife that has a fork, spoon, knife in it, in each one of my motorcycles.
Yeah.
And everybody, because I done been
Absolutely.
in places and you couldn't get those. I was like, daggone it. So I make sure I cut that out.
Right. How we doing? We got everybody back yet?
Now, they might be coming over that hill. They got caught by that big light.
There we go.
Here they come. Is that them?
Well, that's one.
Yeah, that's them. Here they come.
They're rolling now.
Yeah, they rolling.
All right, you guys, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification, and personalize it.